Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today and we are on scent number 3 of Timeless Legacy. I know, I have to keep thinking because I don't know where the little holder is. I think it's in that box right there. I've been doing some spring summer cleaning. Always a good thing. So let us see which one this is. Okay, so this one is Haenyeo, and Haenyeo are actually women in Jeju Island who, there's a lot of interesting series on it, or even K-dramas on it. It's a group of women that basically do very dangerous diving in the Jeju Islands to basically get the fruits of the sea. Very difficult, like fishing techniques without a boat. They basically are divers that go down and get the things that are very difficult to get. You can't get them on a boat, but you can get them if you dive. Very, very dangerous. And some of these women keep doing it until their 80s. Yeah, that's how crazy and amazing these women are. So this one I think is going to be a little bit probably saltier. I do vaguely remember this because I went in with my friend when I was in New York, the city, to go basically check out the Elorea store. So I know this was actually his favorite. He loved it. He didn't walk out with it because that was not what he was intending to do that day, but he was like, this is amazing, but I don't really remember it. I smelled it briefly, so I'm excited to try it again. So basically, the Haenyeo embodies the bold spirit of the Jeju Island Korean female divers who fearlessly free dive to gather seafood to support their families. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. Clean notes of iris and lily of the valley, I love, and complement the shimmering scent of volcanic rocks and mother of pearl. Wow, that sounds like a lot. Kind of cool. I like this. So the notes, oh wow, I don't even know how to say this. Thalassogia. Now I don't even know how to say this. I think it's thalassogia. Wow. And it's basically a fragrance technology inspired by the ancient practice of thalassotherapy, mimicking the composition of the marine environment and designed to evoke the calming feeling of being near or in water. I actually don't like deep water, so it does the opposite for me. Ooh, I'm not a big fan. But sea salt, seaweed, pink pepper, heart is Vitrix rotundifolia, lily of the valley, iris rose, and base is volcanic rock, mother of pearl, driftwood amber. This one is unique and it'll cost you $155. So this whole collection is a little bit more expensive than the other ones. Interesting. Don't remember this one, but I'm a little excited because of all the things I don't know what is going on. I live for that. Give me novelty. Ooh. Wow. Okay. I definitely do get kind of a floral marine feel about this one immediately. The first thing that kind of hit me is on initial spray, this does seem a little bit what some may say masculine, wear what you want. That's the first thing. It very much was it very much had that masculine feel to it. There's that sea salt. It's like ocean. It smells like ocean. But then what happens is there's light florals, lily of the valley underneath, kind of whoop, pushing it up a little bit, which is interesting. Very marine. So this makes sense because my friend really likes those scents. He loved this one. Again, it is very light though, so it stays in this bubble. But the notes, with Elorea, the notes tend to be very gentle, except for there's like a few exceptions, like earth and fire are a little bit more bold, but nothing's ever too bold. I think earth is probably, to me, just because the notes were they were a lot. The cypress really made him go pff. But with this, with most of them, it's just very light and fresh. This is a very fresh, clean scent. This is your marine scent. It really is, with light floral. But let's try it on the wrist. Yeah, very marine heavy. I wish I was getting those volcanic rocks, but I think part of it is that's the base note, so it may not be coming through yet. It just smells like ocean and florals. Very interesting. Let's try it on the shirt. Ooh, okay. So on the shirt, it's definitely more floral. I definitely am getting the iris, that rose, the lily of the valley, totally getting those notes with a little bit of sea salt and seawater. And I do get that seaweed between the both smells. I am getting that, but definitely more floral forward here on the shirt. But on the skin, it's more marine, at least on my chemistry. Yeah, it's definitely more of that marine scent. And I'm getting that seaweed. Seaweed has a very specific smell to it, and I'm definitely getting that. So I'm getting that sea salt spray with that seaweed, and what's changing it is the florals on the shirt. Because I'm getting lily of the valley and a little bit of iris on the wrist, but it's mostly here that I'm getting the floral. So very interesting. So this is very much in the spirit of Jeju. So Jeju is an island, and it can have some difficult weather during the winter, but it's a huge hot spot for fun, and people to get away for vacation or honeymoons and things if you can't get away too long. And that's kind of the vibe of it. It's become really popular, so I wouldn't say go there now because of a K-drama. Made it really popular, so I'm going to wait a couple years. But, ooh, that's beautiful. Very interesting. Yeah, and I'm not normally a huge aquatic type or oceanic type of person, but this one's lovely. I think the florals do something really nice with it. And I do get a little bit of pepper here, but not enough to really make it go, ooh. It's not quite that peppery. Ooh, that's lovely. It's just really light, fresh. It's like walking on the beach and there's seaweed everywhere and you're just walking past. That's what this is like. And you have like a bouquet of floral or flowers that you're carrying for whatever reason. That's what it's like. It's just glorious. So yeah, very light though. I'm curious to see where it goes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to check in an hour and we'll see where this one goes. Okay, so it has been an hour and I can definitely smell Haenyeo. I hope I'm saying that right. Haenyeo? Anyway, yes. It is pretty much staying exactly what it was. And I do find with Elorea, they don't tend to morph too much, which is a great thing for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want that. So there you go. So I'm definitely still getting a very late ocean. It really smells like an ocean. I'm getting that seaweed still. I'm getting those ocean waves, and every time I move around, I feel like I'm there. So there you go. It's not like a beach. It doesn't smell like a beach. It smells like a coast. And there is a difference, at least here in the US, where you have like the California beaches where people are laying around and enjoying it. And then you have those coasts. And from my understanding, Jeju, parts of it are more of a coast with the volcanic rocks. So if you're familiar with like the Pacific Northwest in the US, then it very much is coastal. It's more coastal than a beach. And this is what this reminds me of. It reminds me of being at the coast and smelling the kelp and the seaweed everywhere in the morning when you're walking along the beach. This is what I'm getting. The seaweed is very heavy and the ocean saltiness is very heavy. But not heavy. It's very prominent. This isn't a heavy scent. This is a light scent. But let's try it here. I'm actually getting kind of a musk smell from this. Very interesting. And it may just be from the seaweed, because to me, seaweed can be kind of musky in it's own way. It's a little bit dark and dank, and I like it. I love to eat it. No, it's really delicious. Give it a chance. But I'm getting that seaweed smell. But it's coming through very musky. It's mixing with the salt water, the oceanic scent with the seaweed. And that's primarily what I'm getting on my skin. But let's try it here on the shirt or the dress. Okay, so it's very light. Very light. And what I'm getting is the sea salt, less of the seaweed. My body loves those murky, musky scents. But here it's more of like a floral with ocean waves. Yeah, it's kind of hard to distinguish exactly which floral at this point because there was 3, but let me try again. It's more of the iris mixed with lily of the valley. The rose has kind of taken a back step. but here it's ocean and flower still. It's just exceptionally light. And it's been about an hour and a half. I went and grabbed some food. So it's been an hour and a half, and it's really, really light. And I do recall my friend, one of my best friends on this earth, he basically had mentioned that it was very light on him. He had put on several sprays, and he's correct. It does kind of get very delicate quickly, and it starts off very delicate. So I don't know if this is going to last the full 5 hours. I think this is one of those ones you're going to have to around the 3-hour mark, but don't quote me on that. We'll check back in. Okay, so it has been 5 hours. We made it, and I can definitely still smell it here and there. Not necessarily where it once was. It's very close, but I can definitely still smell whiffs of it here and there. I will say that I think to keep this one up to the same level, you're going to want to respray this at around 3 hours, because it's going to very quickly, not very quickly, but around 3 hours become a me scent, a personal me hug scent. So there you go, something to take into consideration if you like something with a little bit more power. So yes, what I'm getting mostly is that salty sea with seaweed scent. That's what I'm getting with this still. It really didn't change too much from when I initially checked in, but let's check everything. Yep, definitely a sea salt seaweed scent on the skin, but you know, you have to really get in there to smell it. It's really, really light, but let's try it on the dress. Okay, that salty seaweed is coming through really strong here with a little tad bit of floral. So yeah, it definitely is very much an ocean seaweed scent, which completely makes sense, for what they're trying to portray. The divers of Jeju, this completely makes sense. It nails what it tries to nail. And that is an absolutely great thing. But if you don't, care for that seaweed oceanic scent, then this may not be for you, because the florals are very light. They do come into play, but over time they really do take a back seat, so you can smell, the nature of ocean and seaweed. So yeah, there you have it. So if I were going to rate this one, where would I put it? I think I would put this one at about a 6.5 or 6.5. I'm fine with that. So here's the reason why. It doesn't last necessarily as long as I would like. I like fragrances to not necessarily become skin scents that quickly, but this one is one of the lighter ones of the collection. But the big thing is, I'm really not big into oceanic scents. That's not a profile that I reach for. So now when I rate things and rank them, it's from a personal perspective, because some people love ocean scents and they're like, you're crazy, get out of here. And that's okay, because you're allowed to like what you like, and I like what I like. And so this isn't, I think if there were more floral forward, I would have bumped it up more, but it's a lot of salt water and seaweed and ocean. So if you love that and you like it to be very realistic, photorealistic, this one's for you. For me, it's not something that I would necessarily reach for that often. So yeah, again, around 6.5 is probably where I would put it, which isn't bad. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just not something that I would reach for over and over. But again, if you like those natural photorealistic scents, you will love this one. So I would say get a sample, try it, and enjoy. So yes, so we have one more scent after today, and then we will talk about the next brand that I will be trying out. I'm really excited. This one was small in comparison to Zoologist, so we're getting ready to try another brand here soon. I got to figure out which one. To figure it out. Which one? So there's a few options. But yes. So with that, have a fabulous day, my friends, unless you were here for the cultural note. So this one, some people may see as a cop-out, maybe the next two, but I do mean this. And for me, I think one of the best things about visiting any place is taking a day. If you have enough time, I do tend to put a lot of things into my trips. Later I pack them chock full of stuff. But I'm learning that sometimes one of the best ways to see a country or a city or wherever is to just sit and be a little bit. And I think that this is a good thing to do with Seoul. So there's so much to do that you can just walk around and see what's around, and museums, all kinds of things. So we ended up going to a few parks, and there was some really cool sculptures there. And then while we were walking, we went to areas where they had some of the old housing, because a lot of it was torn down, and just seeing kind of the neighborhoods ourselves instead of just I don't know, packing things to do. Like, oh, well, look at this dessert place, let's pop in. Oh, look at this food place, let's pop in. They have gym equipment in the city, which was really interesting. Yes, I'd never seen anything like that before, but it's like, hey, here's a gym. Okay, I know that they've done it in certain places, like certain cities, but you don't see it every day. And so it was nice, because then people could work out for free. You just go out there and you work out. And I think that's actually really great for the community's health. So it's nice to see that it was open. You could do that as well. Be respectful. So there you go. You know, I know that day we walked near some of the palaces outside, and then we walked into like a free museum. It's usually for tourists to go through and learn a little bit about Korean history, or people visiting Seoul. I don't remember the name of it, but we came upon it, and the woman sat and talked to us for like an hour. She's Korean and somebody who worked there, and there weren't a lot of English speakers, so she wanted to kind of like test her English skills and talk to us about the wonderful beauty and history of Korea, and it was wonderful. Our own private little tour. Really enjoyed that. But just even going to the park and just sitting there and watching the people sitting in the middle of the city and watch the cars go by, and just having a day where you can just walk and take in the whole city and not be in a rush and see what happens, what falls in your way. You know, I really do encourage doing that. Seoul is an extremely safe city. We came across a group of people doing traditional instruments and playing them in the traditional Korean outfits, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up in some photo op for I don't know what. I have no clue. Who knows where it went, but yeah, they took a picture of me somewhere, and some photographer with this group, and who knows where I ended up. But hopefully it was good. I don't know. But so you can just walk around and enjoy the sights of the city. And the nice thing about Seoul is there's night markets, like I think it's Namdaemun, which is the north, I think, gate. I know Korean enough, but not that well. But you could go at night and go to the night market, which we did. My friend did not bargain. Always bargain. You can use a calculator on your phone and show them the price you're willing to pay, because a lot of them don't necessarily speak English. So you can keep showing them. They'll show you a number, and eventually you guys will come to an agreement. My friend did not, and the person who was selling to him, she felt so badly that he didn't bargain. She was just like, she gave him free ginger candy. She's like, here, just. It was out of pity. I was like, what are you doing? But of course I'm the queen of it, but he's like, I didn't want to. What they expected. She was waiting. I saw the look on her face, and she just went, here, take this bag of candy and go. So a lot of fun. So just walk around and just see the different things during the day. I really just recommend it. We just went to various places to eat, had snacks on the street. Just it was a day just to relax and have a great time. So yeah, there you go. That is my experience. And that day was actually probably busier than, well, Suwon was the most busy day, but beyond that, that was probably like the busiest day, because we actually did more walking and fun stuff that day, like going into stores. You can go into like stalls and drink soju, whatever. I mean, we were out early and stayed out really late that night, so it was a wild, fun night. So walk those streets safely, though Korea is very safe, especially Seoul, but enjoy yourself and just look around. So yeah, with that, one more set to go, and I will see you next time, my friend. Bye.